Lift yourself by yourself. Once you become aware of how you are driven by guilt, you can start practicing to come out of it. When you start practicing it, naturally you will slip a few times. When you practice to be without guilt, you are bound to slip back into the older patterns of greed and fear. Then suddenly you will remember, oh, I started working out of fear. I started working out of greed. Then you will start afresh. When you start working, naturally you will see these things happening. A small story. A monk from a big spiritual organization was sent to a remote tribal area for doing service. Suddenly, the headquarters received a lot of complaint letters about the monk. The president, after reading the letters, said, "We have posted the right person." The secretary asked him, "What is this, sir? We are getting complaints about him. How do you say we have posted the right person?" The president replied, "If we are getting complaints, it means he has started working. There is something happening. When you start something new, you will have three phases. The first is resistance. The next is just indifference. People will neither care nor resist. The third is acceptance. In the same way, when you start doing anything inside your system, you will start growing, but these three phases will be there. The first phase will be resistance. You will feel the new practice is a difficult change in your current system. Because of this, the next thing that happens is you start avoiding opportunities where you should be practicing the change. Again and again, you will go back to your older ways. Your system will resist. It will try to create all kinds of complications, all possible arguments. If you allow the resistance to grow, you become your own enemy. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, "Let you lift yourself by yourself. If you don't, you will be your worst enemy." It is up to you to help yourself as your best friend or hurt yourself as your worst enemy. Nobody can hurt you unless you allow. Nobody can help you unless you allow. If you have forgotten the practice, remember and again lift yourself. Don't fall into depression. Don't have guilt. Don't think you will not be able to do it. Even if you read in the life of enlightened Master Buddha, he was about to leave the body when his disciples asked him to give his ultimate message, and he said, "Adma Deepo Bhava." Let you be your own light. Let you be guided by yourself. Guilt, a manifestation of ego. Guilt is actually the shadow of the ego. When somebody says something and you become angry, it is the ego, your idea about yourself, that causes the anger. But right after, you start feeling guilty about losing your temper. Now, too, it is the same ego that causes the guilt. It gives you the feeling that you could have done differently to change the situation, but you did not do it. This is the dilemma. The ego creates the problem, and the same ego goes on harboring guilt. If you understand this game of the ego, you can simply drop the guilt. Without allowing ego, if you allow only awareness, you will neither get unduly angry nor will you suffer for it. Because of the awareness, you will not be blinded with anger. You will get angry only to the extent required, and automatically, there will not be any guilt either. The first way. Feeling guilty. If you have made a mistake, there are two ways to treat it. One is to feel guilty. If you feel guilty, you will commit the same mistake again. Guilt is the way to commit the same mistake again, because you forget the mistake and start focusing on the guilt. If you focus on the mistake, you will know how and where you went wrong, and so you will not repeat it. If you focus on the guilt, you will not even analyze how and where you went wrong, so you are still very much capable of making the same mistake again. Getting out of addictions. People ask me, "Swamiji, I want to stop smoking. Please show me how to." I tell them, "First drop your guilt." They look surprised and say, "Swamiji, if I drop my guilt, I will start smoking even more." No. Only when you drop your guilt, only when you are free from the past, you will have enough energy to change your future. As long as you carry the guilt, you will project only your past into the future. Understand, when you carry guilt, you have already decided you can't change the future. And if you do have the confidence that you can change the future, you will not carry guilt. The deeper the guilt, the higher the chances of committing the same mistake in the future. There is a Beautifulcher named Vali in the Indian epic Ramayana. The story goes that anyone who faced Vali in a battle would lose half his power to him. If you stood in front of him to oppose him, half your power would be transferred to him. In the same way, if you stand in front of your past to fight with it, half your power will go to it. Your guilt will suck up half your energy. Please understand that all your negativity has only one power, and that power is nothing but your faith in that negativity. You empower your own negativity. When you decide to fight smoking, you give half of your power to it. Then when you start fighting it, it is almost like fighting with your shadow. You will never win. As long as you try to fight with your past, you unconsciously empower it and project the same past into the future also. Be aware that the more guilt there is, the more the same mistakes. You will see that through guilt you will not be able to overcome any mistake. The second way, looking in. To feel guilty is to be in sin. In fact, that is the only sin. The hell that we talk about is not in another time and space. It is within us when we feel guilty, without doing anything to change our mindset. All your guilt, all your pain, everything is a pure imaginary shaft you create inside your head. The mistake you did 10 years ago, the mistake you did 7 years ago, and the mistake you did 3 years ago are independent and unconnected incidents. But when you connect them and start thinking about it, naturally you start creating guilt. You start feeling like a continuous sinner. This is one approach. There is another approach. When you commit a mistake, see objectively why you committed it, how you committed it. Watch as an observer how and why it is getting repeated. Look scientifically into the mechanism of guilt. Just this awareness will open a new door, and you will never commit the same mistake again. Because once you look into it and find the cause, it will disappear. To know a thing totally is to be free of it. Morality. Integrity. Please understand that morality should happen out of integrity, not out of guilt. What do I mean by integrity? Integrity is being in the present moment and being only one solid personality and not many conflicting personalities. It is seeing reality without the play of the mind. Once the mind steps in, duality also steps in. Just by being intensely aware of the present moment, you can achieve integrity, where there is only one and not 2 or 3 or many personalities fighting in you. Only when the mind flits between the past and future, you become split personalities, and integrity doesn't set in. If the mind is on the present, automatically you become unified and integrity sets in. A small story. One day, a priest knelt before God and started crying loudly, "I am a sinner. Please have mercy on me." "Oh God," a man who was praying silently got inspired by this and also knelt down next to the priest and started praying. Now, another man also went down on his knees and started crying. Seeing this, the priest nudged the first man, saying, "Look who thinks he is a sinner." All our humility, our morality, are more or less a pretense to others and to ourselves. We pretend because we are not solidly integrated within us. We ourselves don't know which personality within us is authentic, and so we get caught in such games. If we are integrated, we will be authentic in every action, and automatically we will be moral. Be aware. Be spontaneously right. Please understand, you will never make mistakes if you are deeply aware at the time of making them. When you are aware, you will be one solid personality and moral as well. When you stray from awareness, you will be many personalities and immoral also. Morality has to do with awareness, not with any other social rules. Awareness is the only way to be naturally moral. Awareness causes you to spontaneously take the right action in the right situation. Morality can cause you to do the wrong action in the right situation because it doesn't have the right base. Its base is not your own. It is built up by society. So you don't feel connected to it. When you don't feel connected, you cannot act with confidence. Once you integrate yourself, you will be centered upon awareness. If you remain fragmented, there will be no awareness and you will depend on morality for guidance. Go beyond right and wrong. What is the root cause of guilt? It is our idea about right and wrong, our understanding about what is right and what is wrong. What is the scale to measure right or wrong? In Hinduism, vegetarianism is considered right. In Christianity, non-vegetarianism is thought to be right. In Hinduism, you can marry only once. In Islam, you can marry several times. In Hinduism, you can't drink alcohol and liquor. In Christianity, Jesus himself consumed wine. You are caught in rules like, if you eat this, you are guilty. If you drink that, you are guilty. There are so many rules and so many regulations in different places, different situations, and different societies. Where is the scale for all the so-called morality? It is a set of local customs. In the course of time, it becomes morality. If you read the ancient scriptures, the epics of India like the Mahabharata, the Princess Draupadi was married to 5 men. Kunti, the mother of the Pandavas, the heroes of the epic, had 5 sons from 5 different men. At different times, different rules were formed by different leaders. In a particular society, certain things that were considered moral were considered in another society to be immoral. In America, there are such differing moral standards that I saw. In one state, casinos are allowed, whereas in the neighboring state, casinos are illegal. Where is the scale of right or wrong? For one person, a particular food is nectar, whereas for another person, the same food is poison. As long as you are caught in right and wrong, you will never function with restfulness. You will only be guilty. You have to go beyond right and wrong into your own consciousness. There lies the key. Conscience vs. consciousness. When you start internalizing the laws of society, you create a deep wound in your being. You destroy your innate intelligence. According to me, children can be given a set of rules initially so they don't move from the path of consciousness. But soon they have to be given the understanding of life and the need to operate from consciousness instead of conscience. If you live with consciousness, you will automatically live a moral life. To start understanding the need to live with consciousness, just look into your morality. Morality is only skin deep, whereas consciousness comes from the very being. Your consciousness tries to break through your conscience. Your consciousness continuously fights with your conscience. Conscience is societal. Consciousness is natural. Conscience is a poor substitute for consciousness. People ask me, Swamiji, what is this? You are pulling down the whole social structure. Then how can we all live morally? I tell them, be very clear, it is only for kids that you need a forced morality. For them you need to say, keep quiet. I will give you candy, of course. Nowadays kids reply, I am happy. I don't need your candy. Who cares for your candy? For a child you can say that you will give candy and restrict him. You can impose morality on him based on fear or greed. But for you, it is time to grow up. You are not kids anymore. Just stand up with consciousness. When I say consciousness, I mean the intelligent energy of your being. The natural instinct to break rules. When anything is a forced rule, you always try to get around it. For example, you always speed when you don't see the policeman. A small story. A policeman pulls over a car on the highway for speeding. When he asks for the driver's license, the driver replies, "But officer, I was only trying to keep a safe distance between my car and the car behind me." When you follow rules blindly without understanding their spirit, this is what happens. You just wait for an excuse to break them. Honestly answer yourself. If there were no rules, no regulating authority to keep a check on what you did, would you be the same person as you are now? Would you be doing things in the same way as you do now? If your answer is no, be very clear that the rule is coming from your conscience, not from your consciousness. You have not internalized the spirit of the rule, or you do not agree with the rule. That is the reason you are not doing things in a way natural to you.